Hello,
Hey,
everybody.
hello.
How are you all doing today? It's the 1st of February today, isn't it? We're
Happy
only 11
February.
months in until the new year, guys.
Oh, already where's some person? We're already a month in. It's unbelievable. Where's that gone?
Oh dear, guys.
You know,
Welcome to season 2, episode 4 of the Snowflake Show. I am your co-host, Regan Elite, alongside.
me, leak on. No delay.
Yes, no delay. And over the next hour or so, guys, we're going to give you the latest news as well as some good news and funny stuff to share with you guys. Lee, how are you doing, man?
Yeah,
How you
great,
been?
great. Yeah, it's been a quiet week again, hasn't it? You know what? Just thinking
I don't.
about it, like 1st of February is
Mm,
actually 3 years ago.
mm.
Yesterday that we Brexited, that we left the EU.
Oh,
So something to
mm.
celebrate, isn't it? Should we sing the national
Yeah.
anthem?
How's the benefits going?
Wonderful,
Yeah.
amazing. Sunlit uplands. I could see
Mm.
them out of my window now. Uh,
I
and those
think, well,
unicorns
but we
flying
still,
past.
but the
Brexit
Jaguar Bog
unicorns.
says we still got to wait. He said
50
we got to
years.
wait 57 years, so we still got 47 more to go. Let's be
47.
honest
It's
with you.
just 47 more.
So, 47 more years to go. So,
Yeah.
guys, there's no rush. We still got 47 years.
Something to look
And then
forward to.
finally, after 47 years, we will have our Brexit benefits.
Right on your calendars. 1st of
Yep.
February, 20, whatever.
20 something.
70.
I don't know,
2070.
2070 something.
70, yeah, it is. Literally 2070.
Uh,
There we go.
yeah.
Brexit
Who have
benefits.
we got in the chat today, Lee?
We have got Lefty Boater. Hi, Lefty. You're right, evening all. Stu's here. Hi, Stu.
Hey, Stu.
Some
Lefty.
guy called Regan Elite says good evening all.
That guy again.
SD is here. Good evening. Hi, SD. So a
Good
couple of
evening,
new people.
SD.
Stu, SD, they're new. Welcome. Hope you enjoy our stream. I think you must have seen us before, but Ginger Giraffe's here. Hi. Number
Hi,
3.
Gingers.
A warm velvety snowflake.
Oh, thank you, number 3.
Duke
And I
Vengeance
hope you have
here.
a lovely snowflake too.
Yeah. Duke's here. Knights of the Blizzard
Hi,
converge
Duke.
upon this place. Yes. Lefty Water says a perfect brew making song. That I hope you liked it. It was the tune that we have at the beginning. That's the full length tune of it. So.
There we go.
Ginger says that music made me think of Dr. Seuss. Yeah, it's called Cartoon Bank Heist, I think, or something like that. So yeah. Chatty Rat says good evening all. Contents.
Good evening, Chatty. Good to hope you're well.
Good evening, everyone.
And the man with context. That guy has such vision. Says number 3.
Number 3. Oh, number 3's here as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Did we just run through a few bullet points?
Yeah, go on. I'll let you read them off.
So obviously, guys, we're just going to run a few before we cover some of the main stories. There's been obviously a lot going on in the past couple of weeks, so just compiled a few notes from the last week, so to kind of cut it down a little bit. So may have missed some new stuff, but obviously there might be 1 or 2 things that maybe you guys haven't heard over the last week that maybe might be worth looking up. So some of the roundup news. So first of all, there was a story from Open Democracy that said that ministers had so far handed £199 million to landlords to strip flammable ACMs. That's to do with obviously the whole Grenfell Tower, what happened back at Grenfell, and obviously removing cladding. So there's a lot of money issues there. If you want to see the full article, it'll be on Open Democracy if you guys want to look at the full story on that. So more money being wasted.
There's a few details on that, isn't there? The amount of money that's been. Is it aluminium cladding material? I think it is, isn't it? ACM?
Yeah, aluminium composed material is ACM. They've got it from 98 tower blocks. They're supposed to. In exchange for the loans, because they loaned it there, the landlords were supposed to take all reasonable steps to recover the money from parties responsible and then repay back the public person. Essentially, they haven't done it. Basically,
right.
That's the issue for that. Other news, obviously, support for the trade unions is rising. This was a couple of days ago, so before the teacher strike. So even though strike action is bringing public service to a standstill, so actually this is actually specifically train strikes. for those who just want to do. It's not so much the healthcare; it's more train strikes. And there was some sway waning on that, but it's actually rising according to a poll. I think it was from Sky News a couple of days ago, guys. That one. And then obviously we had over in America the horrible loss of Tyler Nicholas, who died after encounter with 5 ex-police officers who face murder charges. Absolutely horrible story, and our hearts and prayers goes out to all the family and friends of Tyler. Absolutely horrible story. I'm sure you guys are fully aware of it. We don't need to give you the details of that.
I think it was the funeral today, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Also, some other news going on in the world. There was a mosque. Dozens were killed in a mosque blast in Peshawar in Pakistan as well. Terrorist organisation, terrorist claims responsibility for that. Quite a few people died from that. My understanding as well. There's also the Auckland floods in New Zealand. So they've had a couple of days ago as well. They had to declare emergency there. Also, other world news before I go back to the UK. Haiti has still not recovered from the devastating earthquake in 2010. There are people who are literally running around like gang members, and they literally they're not just basically gang members. They're actually fathers, they're husbands, they're people who are trying to essentially do absolutely anything they can for their families. Poverty is really, really bad in Haiti. Just one quote: gangs control 60% of the entire capital in Haiti. That's how bad things are right now in that country, and it's a horrible situation for them. So I don't know what the UN's doing to help them, but they need to be doing something, because it's been 13 years since that earthquake, and they still haven't recovered from it. Just quickly on some of the other bits back home. Cost of living crisis. Almost half of working age households are behind or on struggling with housing costs. That's from the researchers of the Resolution Foundation. Just a small snip from the child migrant scandal. It was revealed by The Guardian that child migrants were racially abused and threatened with violence at the Home Office hotel, specifically the one that you guys remember we covered. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago in the Brighton Hotel, I think it was. Also, British Army has fallen behind and is needing investment, said the Defence Secretary. That was after a US General had basically said that our army is sucks, pretty much, to put it bluntly. And that's pretty much
if you underfund
the round of news.
Sorry. Yeah, if you underfund it, though, just like the health service, just like the police, just like the education, you underfund it, it just goes downhill, doesn't it? So,
yeah. So there's a couple of news stories, guys, that have been happening over the week, if you haven't already heard from other YouTubers and whatnot. So if you have any questions or that, I've posted quite about all those articles. I'm pretty sure I've posted them in the relevant news parts in our Discord server, if you guys want to have a look at them. If you want one specifically and you can't find it, just message me and I'll happily send it to you as well, guys.
Yeah. Just going back to the chat, Lefty Voter says, from now on it's a song that will play in my head while making a brew.
Oh, wicked. That's good to know.
SD, I think SD is Susanna De Vita, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I had to do a new signing due to troll, but been a subscriber for a while now. I think that's the same.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's
that sucks. That does.
Context says there have been street signs appearing in Volgograd that hint on a renaming to Stalingrad. Oh, brilliant.
Hey, We Scott Dog, good to see you.
Howdy. Yeah, hi, We Scott's Dog. Howdy, Woof. Yeah, so just in other news.
Into the news.
Well, just gonna say before we start. So I don't know if everybody's aware of this, but
oh yes, of course.
YouTube changed their policy in terms of community guidelines. There's certain things that you're not allowed to do now, so they made these rules and they applied them this month. But what they've done is they've gone back and applied them to started applying them to old videos that were made before the rules changed. And unfortunately, a good friend of ours, and probably most people in the chat probably aware and watch him, All Shorts has actually had his channel. He's had 2 content strikes on it, so he's had his channel suspended for a week, 7 days, so he can't post any videos or anything, can't post any comments or anything else, not comments, community posts, to even tell people that he can't post any videos. So luckily he has got another channel that he does his shorts on, so he's posting stuff on that, and he's also got his woodworking channel. But it's a real shame because his old videos were, the videos that are made a long time ago, and he's been punished for old stuff. But so it meant basically last night, and he basically spent until 4 o'clock in the morning going through and making all his old videos private, and then he went to bed at 4 and he got up at 6 and carried on. And so this morning I was chatting to him about 10 o'clock, and about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, he just about managed to get all his old videos, private, so that he won't get any more content strikes. Because if he got 2 more content strikes, they would have deleted his channel and all his videos. So he would have lost all his subscribers and everything. So for Marcus Allshorts, this is one of his main income streams. So it's all a bit crap, basically. So he's looking at alternatives as well. But yeah, as Duke says, free Allshorts. Hashtag justice for Allshorts, I think it should be. Because
Justice for Allshorts, yeah.
Yeah, he posted the chat he'd had with supposedly a real person, but it was like an AI chat, and even he said, "Are you a bot? Are you an AI bot?" And the chat and the thing said, "No, I'm a real person. I can send you an emoji if you want." And it's like, how does that prove that you're not a bot? It just looks so bad. So yeah, he's ridiculous. As you say, SD, it doesn't matter if he's, especially YouTube for kids, if you listen to your channel for mature content. Yeah, there's the thing, you can put it, there's certain things you can't do. You can't have, like, sexual stuff, because obviously they don't want you turning into Pornhub. But it's almost as bad as, like, you can't swear. So, potentially we could have got in trouble last week with our video because there's quite a lot of swearing in it, So yeah, so I put a link in the description of the video if anybody can help out Marcus, because obviously he's not going to get any. He's demonetized as well, so he's not going to make any money, which is really annoying because YouTube is still putting adverts on his videos. You can still watch his videos. They've still got adverts in front of them. He gets no money from it. It just means YouTube gets all the money from it, which is it's a scam, really. So if you can help him out, we put a link to his Patreon there. If you can help him out, you've just done a one-off, or if you can subscribe to him, because it does some great content. His woodworking channel is brilliant as well. So we'll try not to swear. We'll try
Patreon
not to
is in the
say F or
description.
bugger.
If you guys can, even if it's just for a month, just help him out. Give him if you can. If you can't, obviously, can you? We could ask if you can. Just spread the love. If you can share his content, if you can share his main source of income through his Patreon, if you guys can do that at least, and try and get it out there to help support him as best as you possibly can. Even if you can't support directly, as long as if you can share his content and see if people are willing to watch his stuff and maybe support him. Anything you could do to support him would be greatly appreciated, guys.
Yeah. So content's what the reason I say a month is usually Patreon. You pay by month. So if you could subscribe for a month to his Patreon, you can't subscribe for a week. But yeah, he's gonna be off for a week.
If you guys really want to, I know people have asked me privately, like us setting up a Patreon or something like that, or a super chat thing. Like if you guys really want to help us, help Allshorts.
Yeah, Allshorts. He's done a lot to.
Yeah, he's the one. We are both at this moment. We are both financially stable because we both work full time. But Allshorts is in a different spot, and he needs support. So we really want you guys, if you can, please give him some support. Be greatly appreciated.
Yeah. SD says my daughter is looking for a different platform from YouTube or Twitch to stream on. So far, it's looking Discord. Yeah, Marcus is looking at maybe doing something. So he basically doing it privately, so just from his website. And he we looked at lots of different things. I mean, you can stream to Facebook. I think you can even put videos on Twitter. There's
There's
TikTok
lots of
even.
websites. You can do
Yeah,
Facebook. You can do it through Twitch. There's lots of people who do
yeah,
things through Twitch as well.
yeah,
As long but they can also be a bit fickle as well when it
yeah,
comes
yeah.
to certain rules as well.
This,
Because remember, Twitch is owned by Amazon, so
yeah,
you also have to remember that. But there's also some really there are some other social medias where you can live stream on as well.
yeah. So he's looking at different things, and he's
Yeah,
also potentially putting stuff on, just limiting what he does on YouTube or whatever, and then maybe just having more sort of subscriber only stuff or whatever. But I mean, he was already talking about just concentrating on the shorts for the political stuff, which fits nicely with TikTok, really. So there are options out there for him. But yeah, if you can help him, that'd be great because he's supported us really well. He's been really cool and he's such a nice
yeah,
guy. He's been on the show even a few weeks before Christmas. So
yeah. He covered
when
me
you,
for my time off,
yeah.
obviously as
So
well. So
if you can,
um,
that'd be great.
just one other YouTuber we just want to give a shout out to, Van Man
Yeah,
Talks. We haven't really talked too much about it or even on our server, but obviously Van Man Talks is taking a bit of a break from YouTube, which is really sad to see as well because he's always he's had to put obviously YouTube aside for now because of financial strains, and obviously you guys know what's going on. There's a cost of living crisis right now. People are looking, trying to make ends meet, and YouTube is not a viable source of income for him as much as he enjoys the content doing it, and that it's just very time consuming as well for him. And he's found that by taking time away from YouTube, he's actually been able to make more money for him and his family.
yeah.
So he
His
has
normal
to.
business.
So yeah.
Yeah,
So if you guys can leave a comment or whatever on Van Man Talks YouTube channel and just give him some love,
yeah.
it'd be greatly appreciated. And
And
hopefully, cross fingers, one day he'll come back. But
yeah.
for the time being, he's taking all his time away from YouTube.
Somebody else who at one point he was going to come on the show as a guest, but we just couldn't get a time that was suitable for all of us. So, but yeah, so if you can, another great YouTuber, but he also was getting a bit sick of all the negativity as well. So, but anyway, should we move on then? So we've done all that.
Yeah, let's go straight into the news because that's what you
news.
guys are here for.
Yeah.
So
I was looking at another screen and you look very serious. Sorry, I'm like, what's he looking serious for?
Oh, you wait for me to do the news thing, weren't you?
It's delayed. Yeah. Go on.
Straight to the Guardian, and they've got obviously things are not looking good for Rishi Sunak. It's getting more and more rocky every single day. So the headline: Dominic Raab in peril as Number 10 refuses to say Sunak knew of complaints. So Downing Street won't answer to whether the PM was aware of the possibility of complaints about Raab's alleged bullying before appointing him. Raab's position is looking increasingly threatened after Number 10 repeatedly refused to say whether Rishi Sunak knew of complaints about his behaviour before appointing him to the cabinet. With the position of Raab, the Deputy Prime Minister and Justice Secretary, firmly in the spotlight after Sunak's dismissal of Nadeem Zawari at the weekend, Keir Starmer used Prime Minister questions to ask why he was still in his post. Speaking after the exchange, Sunak's press secretary refused to be drawn on whether Number 10 was aware of the possible complaints about Raab's alleged bullying and abusive behaviour before he was appointed to the government in October. The Prime Minister was not aware of any formal complaints at the time of appointing Dominic Raab, she said. The following formal complaints being made, the Prime Minister asked for the facts to be established. Pressed on a number of times about whether Sunak had been told about informal or other allegations about bullying or abusive behaviour by Raab before forming his government in October, the press secretary would only repeat that the Prime Minister was not aware of any formal complaints at the time of the appointment. On Wednesday, the Times had reported that officials had highlighted what were called issues with Raab in his previous ministerial roles before Sunak gave his current job. Previously, the Observer reported that concerns about Raab's behaviour towards officials were raised during the time as Brexit Secretary in 2008 as well. Brabus being investigated by Adam Trolley Casey, an outside employment barrister appointed by Sunak after complaints about his conduct, now involved as many as 24 civil servants. The Deputy Prime Minister denies any wrongdoing. 24, Lee. That's quite a lot. That's quite a big number, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they just have a history of employing bullies, don't they? And I don't know if it's just that they're bullies or just that people don't really know how to manage or how to speak to people. Under power, probably under stress and power. But you throw a tomato at one of his employees, apparently.
Allegedly,
well, yeah, allegedly. Sorry, yeah. I mean, haven't we gone through this before, didn't we? Before Christmas, we were talking about this and joking and taking a mickey out about it.
We have discussed this previously, but obviously we also remember the bullying allegations against Priti Patel back when Johnson was running the country, and she walked scot-free.
Yeah,
as well.
Well, I mean, hers were worse because not just the bullying, but also she'd already been kicked out of the government under Theresa May for what was it? It was she was it's basically I can't remember the actual term for it, but maybe someone in the chat can say. But it was she went to see a foreign government without permission by Liz Truss negotiating with Modi. I think it was. Oh no, it was in Israel, wasn't it? She's
done something kind of official, basically.
Yeah.
But I don't know I don't recall the full story. I can't recall.
Yeah, Alex he apparently did throw a tomato allegedly. I say allegedly because I don't want to get our channel get a content strike. It was Israel. Yeah, she was negotiating with the Israeli. She went to visit the Israeli government while on holiday in a completely unofficial. Well, it was completely unauthorized. The government, Theresa May didn't have a clue that she was doing it. It was only when she found out that she kicked her out of the government. But then Boris Johnson gets in and brings her back into government. But yeah. Priti Patel's working with a Pegasus spy
they're not going away, are they?
Expect us. Well, alleged, maybe number 3. I can't. We're not going to say that's the case. Hi Kendra, what's happened to All Shorts? We just said he's basically had his account suspended for a week, so he can't post anything. So
yeah, if you can roll this as a string back and have a listen to what
5 minutes, you'll we just talked about it.
But good to see you nonetheless.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just more bullying. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like he's kind of in a bind now because he was kind of pushed into sacking Sawari. He kind of had no choice, and now he's kind of left himself open because he's like, well, if you've got to sack him, you've got to sack this guy as well, and then you've got to sack this guy, and it's like, it's the very fault of I'm still not ruling out the very possibility of a general election this year. It could still happen.
Well, I mean, there's only so many people. There's only so many Tory MPs in there, and unless you get into the lunatic fringe of like Jonathan Gullis or someone like that, then who else are you going to put as your minister, as your ministers? So I think a lot of MPs, Tory MPs, are already kind of lined up. What they're going to do after the next election. They know that
they're already preparing for the inevitable. It's just a case of whether it's going to be this year or whenever they're going
to. So, following on from that, then. Are you going to read it?
Yeah, Jacob Rees-Mogg is getting a bit worried about the snowflakes, guys. There's a little clip there as well. So,
I'll look at the clip.
Yeah, he's worried about snowflakes.
If it'll play?
If it'll play.
Oh, there we go. Oh.
Was Nadeem Zahawi a good chairman?
Nadeem was actually a very good chairman, highly competent chairman.
Do you think it was the right decision to get rid of him?
Well, I think that the circumstances were such and the report from the independent advisor was such that it was impossible for Nadeem to stay.
What sort of problems is the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, building for himself. So we see allegations against Dominic Raab, more than a dozen civil servants complaining that he is a bully. That's being investigated. Gavin Williamson being sacked. All adding to an air of sleaze around this government.
Well, I mean, a Labour MP had to stand down from his seat, and there was a by-election because he had behaved in an unsuitable manner within his office, if I remember the details correctly, and that was only last year. If you take a parliament of 650 people, there will inevitably be some people who don't behave as well as they should, and that is always an issue for all prime ministers and all leaders of parties.
So just hang on, just let's pause that there, because so he's basically saying, oh well, you know, Labour MP got to leave his post and trigger a by-election. So, well, yeah, it's whataboutism, isn't it? But it's like, yeah, but he's not in government for starters. So what you're saying is that he's
So what you're saying is that yeah, but they did it too.
yeah, yeah, but it doesn't excuse it, does it?
About maybe a couple of dozen people around the cabinet.
Yeah, well, I think we've got to be slightly careful about the bullying allegations. We've got to wait and see. You did indeed, quite rightly.
Yep.
But also, we mustn't be too snowflakey about it. People need to be able to say this job has not been done well enough and needs to be done better. Good public services.
And being a snowflake.
It's a very difficult line to judge.
Fine line.
It is not a straightforward issue in most cases. It is, how did somebody react? What did somebody say? Is it reasonable to demand from senior and well-paid professionals a level of good service? And then you have to judge whether that line has been overstepped. But I do worry that we are getting a bit snowflakey about this.
We need to clip that up, don't we, and drop it in.
Yeah, very, very snowflakey, guys.
Very snowflake. I love the it's a fine line between. So if somebody does a good job, but they bullying their staff, that's all right because they're doing a good job. I think is what the point you're trying to make there. Ridiculous.
Yeah. So yeah, what's he got against snowflakes, Lee?
I don't know. But even there's 3 snowflakes in there. That's 3 snowflakes.
I know. Like it's just yeah.
Maybe we're being too snowflakey. I don't know how anybody can accuse us of being snowflakey.
I felt like shots were fired when I saw that clip, I don't know about you guys, chat, but I felt like shots were fired there somehow.
From the Victorian pencil.
Bonjour, all shorts. Good to see you in the chat.
He's all shorts here. Hi, all shorts. You all right? You missed it. We've been talking about.
You missed our little speech. You missed our little speech earlier about you. Yeah. Guys, I will just say it again for those who have jumped in as we started. If you guys can, the link for All Shorts' Patreon is in our channel description. If you guys can support him, if you can't, obviously, if you can share it across social media platforms and give him the support he needs. If you guys want to support us, support All Shorts. That's what the best way we can put it for you guys. But yeah, a bit of a snowflake moment there from Jacob Rees-Mogg.
What people have said in the chat, so we'll go back up. The Grey Ghost, he's been given swirlies and wedges on a daily basis at my school and had the tyres punctured on each penny farthing. A haunted Victorian hat stand. Sorry, that was Sir Larry the Cat said that. You mentioned it says haunted Victorian hat stand. Yeah. Did we disappear? I don't know. All shorts, yeah. Bonsoir. Nico de Schmidt's here. Hi all. Anybody else joined in? I hate the haunted wardrobe. He gives me the creep, says Lefty Boater.
You said that, not us.
Yeah, JRM attitude is suck it up, Buttercup, until it's aimed at them, then it's a different story. I know, I love it. I love it when right wingers you go, oh, you say, oh, you're such a snowflake, and you go, oh, you're just whatever. And they go, oh, you can't call me, that's offensive. Ah. Yeah, snowflakes.
Yeah.
It all depends on the manner of demanding. Says number 3. Yeah. Keep the faith, Marcus, says Alistair. Yeah, keep the faith.
Yeah, keep the faith, mate.
Lots of love for All Shorts here as well, yeah. Okay. Are we on the next one then?
Yes.
Oh, sorry,
Are
I've
we
skipped one there.
is it?
Well, so the strikes.
Yes. So we got a clip for you first, haven't we? And then we got
Yeah.
a post we'll show you guys as well. So this is from today in London. If you guys
Let's turn the wave down a bit. This is the enough is enough protest in London today. Quite a big turnout there.
yeah, absolutely humongous turnout. I can tell you that pretty much from where I was living, lots of kids were not at school. Lots of parents couldn't go to work, so they went shopping instead.
Yeah. That's just really,
and obviously you had the train strikes as well. So it's been a really grind to the whole day.
Yeah.
These strikes are not going away. We're going to keep saying it, until the Tories get willing to get round the table or they call a general election. This is not going anywhere. It's going to keep.
And I read that the talks that happened yesterday, was it for teachers or was it health workers? I think it was teachers went backwards. But Rishi Sunak just kind of just waves it away. Oh well, it's the union's fault. It's all Labour's fault.
Mm-hmm.
We can't afford it. All the rest of it.
Yeah.
But until they start negotiating, it's just going to get worse. So we've got the this is the schedule of strikes. For this
so
month.
Obviously, as you can see today, guys, on Wednesday the 1st, there was quite a lot coming down. Obviously, Friday there's another rail strike, and then there's nurses and ambulances on Monday, then nurses again on Tuesday, and then Thursday I think it's rail again, alongside university staff, I believe. And there's quite a few strikes taking place on the 10th of February. Valentine's Day, there will be no love for the Conservatives on the Valentine's Day. As you can see, there's plenty of strikes taking place there. These strikes, Mick Lynch has said as well. He has said that these strikes will go all the way into the summer, unless they get round the table. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah. All Shorts says strikes into the summer according to the teachers' union.
Yeah, that's the teachers' union as well. Yeah, so it's getting worse, and it's not going away.
Nope. So we'll keep an eye on that. I mean, obviously, like I say, my kids are off school today. My son's in high school. He had work. They gave him work on that he could do from home. My daughter was just nothing. She's just just at home.
Number 3 says, imagine the police trying to arrest that lot. Number 3, you'd be surprised actually. Where I actually work, they can't. We've had last couple of weeks in the shopping mall I work in. We've had a lot of incidences resounding 2 schools clashing with one another, and the groups are up to 50, 60 school kids. Police can't control that.
Yeah.
So if they can't even control school kids, they're not going to control the strikes. So just going to point that out there.
Well, I mean, when they come to dealing with strikes and riots and stuff like that, they do kettling, don't they? Which is, they basically pressure everybody into one location.
So I've got to say that message from that. So Larry the Cat says, Valentine's Day strikes, love to the Tories calling. Very good, Sir Larry. Very good, Sir Larry. I heard Larry the Cat's not feeling well, actually. I saw a post from Sky News saying that Larry the Cat's not been feeling well.
He's not been feeling too well. He got a bit of diarrhea, Sir Larry. Mainly was on this morning. Why won't the teachers let schools know if they're striking so people know which schools will be open? What cheese sniffer? I think that's the whole point, is that it doesn't cause disruption. The whole point is to disrupt. And he doesn't cause disruption if they know exactly what's going to happen. So But yeah, anyway, however you want to take it.
To point out, the strikes are not just about pay, guys, on
Yeah.
the teachers. Like, you have to remember that these schools have been heavily underfunded. They are working so much overtime, these teachers, and I know because I've got a relative of mine who is a teacher. I don't know whether she striked or not, and I never asked her, and I'm not going to. And it was a very difficult decision for her because I think I even spoke about it a week or two ago as well, saying that she was stuck between choosing to strike or not, because if she strikes, she doesn't get paid, and not only that, the kids that go to her school don't get fed. So it's not an easy decision. These children are not getting the education they need. Never mind putting them in the schools; they are not getting the education that they need as well. This is a complete underfunding of our school system as well.
Yeah. I was listening to
austerity.
Even on Nick Ferrari this morning, they had teachers phoning in and they were saying, like, a lot of kids are being taught by classroom assistants because they haven't got enough teachers, and some schools can't afford teachers. And I've seen articles about there's like a lot of schools are on the verge of collapse just because the cost of everything. I mean, there was talk about the cost of heating the schools was going to cripple a load of schools, with the increasing costs. So yeah, Revolution says the lefty boat. I can't possibly comment on that because I don't want to get a content strike. Larry the Cat says I'm not Rishi, makes me feel sick. Oh right, okay. Oh, you're not ill. It's just Rishi makes you feel sick. Yeah.
Okay.
Guaranteed striking over pay and safety concerns for its staff. Yes. Rishi's sort of his depth. Yeah. Okay. Talking about being out of the depth. Seamless link there to this one. Water firms to lose. I'll do
this one. Yeah.
Water firms to lose public funds unless they pledge to stop UK sewage spills. Government accepts Liberal Democrat amendment to UK Infrastructure Bank Bill. So taxpayer money that may no longer be invested in water companies that fail to produce adequate plans to stop sewage discharges after the government accepted a Liberal Democrat amendment. The change to the UK Infrastructure Bank Bill means that once it becomes law, tax receipts will only be able to fund water companies if they produce a costed and timed plan for ending sewage spills into waterways. The new post-Brexit UK Infrastructure Bank is a state-owned development bank designed to help the UK government reach net zero carbon emissions by 2050. Originally, it would have given cheap finance to any water companies that wanted to make improvements to infrastructure. It will have £12 billion of start-up capital, comprising £5 billion of equity from the Treasury and £7 billion of debt. It will also be able to provide up to a further £10 billion of guarantees. Richard Ford, MP for Tiverton and Honiton, tabled the bill and said the government had previously written a blank cheque of taxpayer money to water firms to invest in their infrastructure. The Lib Dem MP said this is a victory for millions of people across the country who have voiced their outrage at water companies being allowed to get away with polluting rivers and coastlines. My amendment ensures water companies won't receive a blank cheque with taxpayers' money whilst they pollute our rivers and damage local wildlife. It would have been scandalous for taxpayers' money to be thrown at firms who pay their execs multi-million-pound bonuses, all whilst destroying our environment. Earlier on Wednesday, Environment Secretary Theresa Coffey hit out at the Lib Dems for the claim that the Conservatives' new sewage bill effectively legalised waste dumping. He said that it's not the first time the Liberal Democrats have put stuff out and it has been a complete load of proverbial. No, it's not. It's true. This amendment, which the government, fair play to the government, have actually allowed, have accepted and allowed it to pass through with the amendment. But all it's doing is it's like a sticking plaster, and really, the damage, a lot of the damage has already been done and will continue to be done, because this is only if water companies want to borrow the money to improve the infrastructure, and so far they haven't on anything. They haven't invested money in infrastructure, or the bare minimum. The waterways are the water system in this country is creaking, and they're not investing money. They're just giving money back to shareholders and dumping sewage into the sea and waterways, and the government has given carte blanche to do that. So Yeah, I mean, Teresa's coffee. I can't tell you what I think of her because I don't want a content strike. But yeah, yeah, disgraceful.
So obviously, this, ever since water companies have been privatized, it's absolutely ridiculous that it was privatized in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
We and one other nation have ever. There's only every single other country in the world has their water company state owned,
Yep.
apart from us and Chile, believe it or not. So
Chile,
we are the only two countries on the planet that actually privatize our water companies.
Yeah.
So that just tells you a lot about how important water is. We need water to drink, to live. Essentially, it's part of the human body, and the very fact that it took a Lib Dem to actually make an amendment to try and stop blank checks of taxpayer money going out the door. It's as you rightly said, Lee, it still isn't done and dusted, and yes, the damage has already been done. And who's going to pay for it all in the end?
Yeah.
We, the taxpayers. That's the problem. And it's ridiculous that that the very fact that the sewage was being pumped into the waters and people were crying out for something to be done, and the MPs were just sitting on their hands and knees with the situation. It's destroying wildlife, destroying our oceans, and I mean, God knows how it's going to be this summer. People are going to get even more sick because there's going to be people going to go into those waters and they're not even going to realize it, because some people don't pay attention to the news as well. There are people out there who don't pay attention to the news, and they're going to get themselves sick. And we've already got an NHS, as you guys know, that is already on its knees, or is already going. More and more people are going to be sick, which means less people are going to be at work, which means that less money is going to go into the economy, less people are going to be able to pay their bills, etc., etc. It all goes round in a circle.
Yeah, it's another Brexit benefit because because as highlighted before before Brexit happened, before we left the EU, we needed particular chemicals to treat the water, and we wouldn't be able to get those chemicals as easily as we would when we're in the EU. And that's exactly what's happened. And there's a shortage of the chemicals. So the only way they can let them deal with it is to basically let them pollute, dump it in the sea without treating it. And simple as that. But as Alex thinks, Kerr says, thank God Scotland has publicly owned water. Yes, Scotland kept its water.
Smart government.
Yeah. Duke says water companies have actually done the opposite and sold off our infrastructure. We only have a few days of water storage at a time. Jesus. Yes.
I think I've said about it before in the past. We've had, in London, they're like really old Victorian sewages. They're at some point they're going to collapse.
Wait!
Like,
I tell you, round where I am, all the streets are sinking. There's and they keep patching them up, but they're putting more tarmac over the bits that have sunken down a bit, and all they're doing is just putting more weight on top, which is just going to make them. And there are parts where the literally holes have appeared in the street, and just kind of patched them up.
God.
It's really bad here. But I think that's like you say, in London, Victorian. Well, a lot of cities have got Victorian water sewage systems, so they don't want to spend the money on it, not if they can give taxpayers profits.
Yeah, they're gonna have to change their tune soon, because it's another sad story, unfortunately, thanks to this Conservative government
and Brexit as well.
That they have taken.
Lefty Boater says the bottom of my boat is turning brown and it's not rust. He says there's a sinkhole appeared on the marina where I'm based at the minute. Yes. I mean, the roads around here, some roads you actually drive over these sort of sunken down bits and you think, please don't collapse. You see buses going over me like, oh Jesus, it's
that must feel a bit awkward if you're going over it and you're sitting in that bus. Oh dear.
Yeah. João's just bragging because Portugal has almost 100% clean beaches here, about 89% excellent quality, thanks EU rules. Yeah, we used to have those EU rules. Remember those blue flags and everything?
We did. I think he's inviting us to move to
You
Portugal.
should move to Portugal. Larry the Cat says, "Welcome, Brexit Britain, known as Turdistan." Yes. Beaches in my area. I've always had a blue flag since the counting began, says Zhao. Yeah. Hi, Zhao. Sorry. Good evening, folks. Yes. Chatty Raz says, Europe has blue flag beaches, England has brown flag beaches.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's going to be a thing now. They're going to highlight it when they think there's a significant amount of sewage in the beach, and they're basically going to put them up and say you can't go in those waters for health and safety reasons.
Lovely.
So,
right, we need to make a move on because we've got it's 1:45 and we've still got loads to do. So
we do indeed.
Need to read this one.
Yeah, just highlight. Just you want to highlight it, just yeah.
So we get following on from I think it was last week or the week before we talked about Ukraine corruption. The head of the Kyiv tax authority accused of multi-million-dollar fraud. One of the unnamed woman's 4 homes raided along with home of former Zelensky ally amid president's crackdown on corruption. Volodymyr Zelensky's crackdown on corruption has continued as the one leading the Kyiv tax authority was accused of massive fraud after a raid of one of her 4 homes, and a series of national officials were forced from office. The residence of the businessman Igor Kolomoisky, a former political ally of Ukraine's president, was also raided as part of an investigation into the suspected evasion of customs duties linked to the Ukrainian oil producer Ukrnafta and refiner Ukrtatnafta. The media empire owned by Kolomoisky is already under US sanctions for his alleged involvement in significant corruption, helped popularize Zelensky as an entertainer, and then supported his political career. Kolomoisky has denied any wrongdoing. Vasyl Melyuk, the head of the country's SBU Secret Security Service, said dozens of actions had taken place on Wednesday, targeting what he described as corrupt officials, Russian agents, and those undermining the nation's security. We don't plan to stop, he said in a statement on Telegram. Every criminal who has the audacity to harm Ukraine, especially under war conditions, must understand clearly that it will put him in handcuffs. Developments came as Ukraine's president prepared for an EU summit on Friday in Kyiv to discuss the country's potential accession to the bloc of 27 member states. According to a leaked draft statement, the EU will encourage Ukraine to meet the European Commission's demands, to include dealing with corruption, to allow membership negotiations to start. The EU will decide on further steps once all conditions specified in the Commission's opinion are fully met, said the EU. I was expected to say.
So obviously, following on from last few weeks, obviously, if they're gonna want to join the European Union, they're gonna need to crack down on it, and there's gonna be some people being kicked out the door, and the point's gonna be, as rightly just said, if you're part of the problem, you're going to be pushed out the way, because right now this country is at war, and the last thing we want is vast amounts of money that's coming in to support this war is being taken away by greedy Ukrainians who are looking out for themselves instead of the interests of the nation.
Yeah, I mean, get rid of it now, change the culture in the country, because it's been probably influenced a lot by what's gone on in Russia. Oligarchs, Ukraine had its own set of oligarchs as well, and this was one of the things that Zelensky was trying to get rid of, or promised to get rid of. So this will can only be a good thing if they can do it. So I'll keep an eye on this, keep following this story as we go on. So just quickly, Stu says they would put their turd into the wrong throne. All shorts, there he is, newest victim of censorship. Which Larry the Cat says, complete hot fudge brownies. Nice.
Yep.
Lefty, I never knew I like nutty fudge with sweet corn until this. Jesus, the other day. Okay. I think
we've heard enough of those jokes, but
yeah. So go on.
I was just going to say, hopefully Ukraine can clear up the corruption. The sooner they clear it, the better for the benefit for the country. And I think more of that, as they cleanse more of that corruption, more will more money will go towards actually the weapons and the supplies that they need to defeat Russia.
Mm-hmm. Okay, changing tack now slightly. We got a video from Sam Avery.
So I'm going to try something that doesn't normally work on social media: a nuanced conversation. Because the new Sam Smith video has sparked a huge debate and everyone's picking a side. Which side are you on, dear viewer? And the truth is, you don't have to pick a side. You can have a balanced opinion. Is the video too sexualised for young kids to be watching? Probably. But then so are most pop videos. So are most adverts, TV shows, video games. We live in a very sexualised world. I mean, I'm wearing crotchless hot pants as I record this. So the question then needs to shift to, is this Sam Smith video more sexualised than the straight down the middle, off the shelf, heterosexual music video? I'm not sure it is. Think about some of the videos we've seen over the last, 30 years. Christina Aguilera, Madonna, even Chaz and Dave. What, you think their hit single, Rabbit, wasn't about the rampant one? Rabbit, 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 rabbit. And I'm obviously joking there. But therefore, the next question needs to be, are people only offended by this video because it features a non-binary person who is plus-sized? And maybe it is. I can't answer that. But to me, the most offensive thing about that video is the song. Because it's crap. It's dull. The most offensive thing about music right now is there's no protest songs. Where's the anger? Where's the outrage? So there we go. I've tried to be nuanced, and because of that, this video will probably drop like a stone and no one will see it. And if that's the case, for my next video, I'm going to just strap some nipple tassels on and go crazy. Woo!
He's funny. Sam Avery.
Oh, Jesus.
So,
oh, he's playing again. He's
I'm going to try something that doesn't...
He wants to go again,
He wants
guys.
to go again. He wants to repeat. Just in case you missed any of it, especially the nipple tassels.
Ah,
Right. I haven't seen that video.
Culture, that's all that is.
Have you seen this Sam Smith video? Everybody's been talking about. I think all the right wingers have been getting their nipple tassels in a twist over it.
Yeah, I have not. I'm going to keep out of it.
I'm
I'm going to do a Mr. Corbyn and sit on the fence.
Alex Sturm's going. So have a good night. Bed's calling. Yeah, okay.
Good night, Alistair. Take care.
Non-binary sounds like a car engine to me. Okay. Modern music is crap, says Duke. And I think Sam Smith, I agree.
Sam Smith is a video star. Number 3 says question mark.
Yeah. Right. This one's one you selected.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one, guys, for you guys. So there's I don't know if you ever see this on your social medias or anywhere, but this is bizarre footage shows in Antigua with 2 heads, finally explained after baffling the internet. So yeah, it looks like it's 2 heads, guys. So a giant Antigua appears to have 2 heads that absolutely baffled the internet after being caught on camera. The animal has racked over 2 million views as people are trying to figure out how on earth is this weird anatomy work, because there's no way it could have 2 heads, is there? So if you click the clip,
I think I know what it is. But go on.
Yeah, it's only a couple of seconds.
What? Yeah.
Sound is blaring.
So is that very loud?
It is very, very loud. Oh dear. Sorry about that, chat. Hopefully that wasn't too loud, but you can. It looks very real, doesn't it? So I said hard to make or heads or tails on this one. Get it, anyone? Anyway, at first glance, it looks like this Antigua has one brown head on the classical long snout for gobbling up its delicious ants, and another fluffy white head that almost resembles a raccoon. Both heads seem to be hunting for the little tiny creatures to munch on. How could this be possible? I'm so confused, said one's baffling shared on sharing the video on Twitter. What the fudge am I looking at? Wondered the second. My brain cannot understand this. Come on, Antenna, choose a face to mine first. So what really is going on here? So let's put your confused mind at ease. This Antigua really does just have one head, you'll be pleased to know. Its real head, of course, is the brown one with the long snout. The weird thing is that the second head is actually the Antigua's left forearm. Those little brown spots on the fluff just make it look like a little second head.
Well, it looks nothing like an anteater's head, though, does it? It's all fluffy.
It does, yeah. So rather than a biology-enhanced antique going for little buds with its two terrifying heads, it's actually a completely regular creature using its paw to get a better hold of its log while it goes down on its dinner. So there is your weird one for the day. Most people eventually figured out what was going on in the video, but it did take them a minute. Someone said they had to watch it 4 times to understand. But
Okay.
even watching it once, you're thinking, huh?
Yeah. And when you look at the photo,
But,
you're
yeah.
like, but then you look at that, you can see it's like fluffy. It's all fluffy, but nothing like
Yeah,
underneath.
it's like one of those. It's one of those like videos where it's just like, huh?
Zhao says these videos are the reason why flat earthers think the Earth is flat, which is a well-rounded mistake. Yeah. Duke says it's not another head, it's a leg.
Ooh, is it a leg? But it's very it's very you know where there's those where those people put those pictures up of those different colours where they have a colour of a dress and they say it's this colour and everyone else says it's this colour or something like that. Yeah, all those weird ones, don't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of those bizarre ones, obviously. So
Okay, we'll move on to this one because we're really running out of time now. Because we want to try and keep it. We're trying to keep
yeah,
it to an hour, but so here we go. I'll let you do this one because you
might
picked
go a
this
few
one.
minutes over. But yeah, just this got good news for you guys. So homeless man throws birthday party for his dog, goes viral, and it leads them to a better life. For some people experiencing homelessness and isolation, their pet companion serves as their only hope. These animals give them a reason to smile and celebrate, as there was the case for a man in Bacucamba, Colombia, named Choco. I'm not going to repeat the rest. Choco was
Choco,
spotted
let's call him
by
that.
bystanders sitting on the stairs at a local park with his 4-legged companion, Shaggy and Niga. At first, it looked like the trio was basking in the warm night air, but the party hat suggested it was a special day. As it turns out, the friends were celebrating Shaggy's birthday before revealing a small cake and candles. Choco gave the sleepy dogs some some pets and then sang them happy birthday while clapping his hands. He lit the 2 candles on the cake while the 2 dogs observed him. After the flames were put out, the homeless man gave each a pup a kiss on the cheek and grabbed a small plastic knife to cut the cake. That is so cool. That is so cool. Cuts slice each for the pets, placing the cakes on the paper plates, offer it to the animals. He also got his own plate and began to eat while they ate. It seemed like Choco got emotional and started wiping tears from his eyes. If you think about it, the party hats, the plates, the candles probably cost Choco the money all he could have used to buy his food, but as a loving pet owner, he knew his dogs deserved a celebration. Choco then watched his birthday boy finish up his cake before giving him a hug, and the other 2 dogs more kisses from his lover's owner. After he stopped filming, the person who captured this precious moment approached Choco and asked him about their lives and offered help. He found out that Choco had escaped an abusive home and had spent the last several years living on the street. Despite having no home and job, Choco made sure Shaggy and Nita were always taken care of. After all, they were his only family and he loved them with all his heart. The person who took the video shared this sweet scene online, inspiring people to donate food, supplies, and money to help Choco and his family get back on their feet. The park where the party was being held became a gathering place for other animal lovers. The man and his pups also became overnight celebrities as people had him posing with their own dogs for pictures. That was only the beginning of this blessing that would come upon Choco's life. Someone who heard his story gifted him a new phone, allowing him to start his own Instagram page, which has over 186,000 followers. On one Instagram live stream, he shared his story, stating that he was originally from I can't even say it, of El Patron. Talking about the viral video, Choco said that Shaggy was celebrating his 4th birthday that day, while Nita would be celebrating hers in November. And you can see there that was them in 2015, and now in 2022. Choco also shared his dreams of pursuing music and building an animal shelter. Looking at his Instagram, it appears that things are looking up for Choco, Shaggy, and Nita because they now have a place to stay and a better life. And the good man has already started giving back by creating and selling some shirts and donating a portion of profits to help fight animal abuse. In so many years of living on the streets, I was never alone. My dogs were always there to bring joy in so many sad days, and now together we are going to help as many as they need us, he shared.
Brilliant. That's really, really nice, heartwarming story. Yeah.
Yeah. Just it's just such a touching moment, you know how just one small thing like that, and it can turn into turning.
It's a shame All Shorts has just left just as we're about to start that. I think I know, has he? I know. You said night early time. Oh no, I think All Shorts is still here because All Shorts had a birthday with it. Wally had a birthday the other day.
Kendra asked me if I could talk a bit faster.
Yeah, you're not talking fast enough. I think it is because I went. We're in a bit of a rush here. You went.
Yeah, there was quite a lot there, to be fair.
Yeah.
I do apologise if I did talk too fast. But obviously, you guys get the gist of the story. But
he's on screen as well. We keep the text on screen.
I will post that on the Good News Vibes if haven't already, guys. Yeah.
Okay, so we move on to this one then. All Shorts.
Yeah, final story.
Yes, yeah. We were just saying, Marcus, that Wally had a birthday as well with a birthday cake and everything. So he didn't look too keen on the candle when it was lit. He was a bit. Don't think he was too keen on that, but he looked like he had a good time with the cake and everything. Right, we'll move on to this one, which is another kind of field story. So Will Still, Hans fined €25,000 and talented young coach manages a game. This is a really interesting story. So, the French League, League One club, so that's top flight, basically equivalent to the French Premier League. Hans are fined £22,000 every time their manager Will Still takes charge of a match. But you can understand why the French club are happy to take the financial punishment. After snatching a point away at league leaders Paris Saint-Germain, owned by the Qatari government and got Messi and all the rest of them, on Sunday night, Reims are now unbeaten in 12 league and matches, a run stretching back to September. Neymar gave PSG the lead early in the second half, but following Balogun's dramatic equaliser in the 6-minute stoppage time kept Reims' unbeaten run intact. I'll get to the point of this in a second. I'll show you the goal. Show you this. So.
Emery breaks for Doumbia now. Then Balogun's away here. Balogun beyond the goalkeeper. Oh, and Balogun scores for Reims. Added time on stoppage time. The equalising goal. Absolutely extraordinary.
And this incredible story goes on, Joe. And Balogun has made so many good runs in behind that PSG defence. The final seconds of the game.
Brilliant. Oh, sorry, press start. Right, so the club's 30-year-old manager still has a fascinating story. Born in 1992, the half English, half Belgian coach. His parents are both English. They moved to Belgium in 1990. So he's Europe's youngest manager and still studying for his UEFA Pro license. Because he needs a license to take control of a Ligue 1 team, Hans are subsequently hit with an eye-watching €25,000, £22,000 per game hit every time they play. Yeah, unbeaten in 12 games now. Asked if that's taken out of his wage, still told the Daily Mail earlier this month, well, it's been sort of negotiated. The club said, we're ready to invest in your career just as long as you keep winning. Still admits that managing against some of the world's best players, including Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe, and Neymar, blows his mind. He said, "You reflect on it and think, why the hell am I doing this? How am I in the position to be coaching against these guys?" The Belgian English manager still is 5 years younger than Lionel Messi and got into management because of his love of Football Manager. He told L'Equipe today Sir Alex Ferguson is his idol. I forgot, cross to bear, I suppose. How my Football Manager helped will still become a coach. He's in such a lofty position that he's partly due to his love of Football Manager. This is like a computer game where you pretend to be a football manager. He was just like I was just like a normal kid playing Football Manager. And says I spent nights where you get to 10 o'clock in the evening thinking, okay, one more game, and then you end up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I'm still at it. I think we've all done that. I'm sure you've done that, haven't you? Maybe not Football Manager, but some
not
other
Football
game.
Manager, but other games. I would say, yeah.
But what I realise now, the crazy thing is, it's actually so realistic.
This is so cool.
What else do we know about Will? So West Ham fan through his father. Still's first job was coaching Preston North End's under-14s while studying at Myers College. Both his parents are English, but he was born in Branlalud. I don't know how you pronounce it. After his mum and dad left the United Kingdom of Belgium in 1990, he returned to the country's birth after coaching Preston's youngsters and then went to work for former club Sint-Truiden, who offered him a job in opposition analysis. From there, he hopped between various roles at Standard Liège and second tier Liège before the latter club's president appointed him as the team's manager at the age of 24. He went on to work in coaching roles at Beerschot and Standard Liège before he became Lanceman assistant in 2021. And when manager Oscar Garcia was sacked in October, Still stepped in to become caretaker boss, and Lance haven't looked back since. As for his future plans, Still, who says he looks up to Manchester United legend Alex Ferguson, admits his ambition is to manage in England. If the opportunity comes up to go back to England, then that's obviously a dream. If it doesn't, there'll be something else somewhere else. I never had a career plan or objectives I have to meet before a certain age. I've no idea what I'm going to eat tonight. So, yeah. And then before we came on, Rams were playing tonight against Lorient in the league, and they were getting beat 2-0 in the first half, and he won 4-2.
Oh, that's awesome!
Yeah, so still they run that. So that's 13 games unbeaten.
Wow,
brilliant, unbelievable story. And that player following Balogun is on loan. He scored a hat-trick today. He's the guy who scored in that video. He's actually on loan from Arsenal. So I'm sure Arsenal will be after pulling him back at some point if he's just banging goals in like that. But yeah.
Oh, that's such a cool story, and it's a bit funny that they're getting fined or because of the rules and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, yeah, but he's doing his job. So can we just keep him already?
It's not like he's not doing really bad.
Can you bend it UEFA? Bend one rule for us, UEFA.
Yeah.
Chatty
Rat says Dundalk FC got fined €50,000 by UEFA a few years ago as a manager didn't have a pro license when in charge of a Europa League group stage game. Yeah, so you have to have this you have to have this UEFA pro license in order to manage at that level. So
yeah,
Kendra says good night to our great show again.
Night,
thanks, Kendra.
Great story. Great story to end it all. You must stop all that winking, says Sir Larry the Cat to a Wee Scott's dog. What winking is a Wee Scott dog doing?
Do you want to do the usuals?
Yep. So, guys, just before we wrap things up, big thank you guys for coming along and watching the show. Greatly appreciate it. If you can hit the like button on your way out, we greatly appreciate it. If you can share our show across other social media platforms, obviously as well, that'd be greatly appreciated. And there's the bell notification icon, so you'll be notified of when we go live. And just a final reminder, guys, if you can support All Shorts. His link for his Patreon is in the chat description down below. Anything that can help him and at this time would be greatly appreciated, because we always want to try and support some of our fellow YouTubers who put out great content. So if you can support All Shorts, even if it's just for 1 month, please do. We would greatly appreciate it. So if you want to support us, because I know some people, as I said before, some people have privately said they want to support us financially. If you want to support us financially, support All Shorts, because it's people like him, who are doing this as a living. They need help right now, and if you can, it'd be greatly appreciated, guys.
# Justice for All Shorts.
Justice for All Shorts, yes.
So
we got one more video to give you guys on the way out, I think.
Yeah,
one more video.
Just quick. Hey, Hugh Zebediah Thomas has appeared. Hi, Hugh. I think you're a bit late. You missed most of it. You haven't missed much.
That's all right. I'm sure you'll catch up on it when
I think
you can.
You're right. You avatar's like 90 degrees to the left. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
Isn't it getting madder and madder? Interesting times, yes. All hail Marcus, exactly. Solidarity with All Shorts. Yeah. Right. Let's we'll leave you with this from the brilliant Foil Arms and Hog, and we'll catch you next week. Or if you're going I'll put it in the link. I'll watch all the videos on. I'll put a link to the Discord server for the after show chat. It's free. You don't have to sign up. So, did you mention that before? I wasn't really listening.
Yeah, I didn't mention it. So yeah,
Right.
you've saved me the trouble, guys. We've got your Discord server. It's free. You guys are completely free to join, and we'll be in the Snowflake After Dark if you guys want to hang out with us after the show.
If you're not already a member, I'll put a link in the chat when the video's playing. So we'll leave you with this, and I'll see you next week. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you guys next week. Take care.
a good
Stay
week.
safe as always.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Hey,
Oh, who's this breath of fresh air, huh?
Solar, you look great.
Ah, yeah.
Did you get a bit of sun?
A little, yeah. Hey, come on in. Tidal and Hydro, they're in the kitchen.
Great.
Yeah, all right, bud.
Damn!
You okay?
Oh, no, I was just thinking of a work thing.
Oil, hey, buddy. What's your poison?
CO2, carbon dioxide, methane, benzene, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons.
To drink? What do you want to drink?
Red wine.
Okay, but it's just like it's a cream carpet, though. So if you could...
Oh, that won't happen again.
Yeah, no.
I
No.
don't know what happened last
I'm
time.
sure it won't.
Yeah.
Where's nuclear?
Oh, he's in the kitchen having a meltdown.
Oh, what happened?
They split up.
Oh, not again. That guy's unstable.
You just got to give me another chance. I can get clean.
Yeah, great party, guys.
Which is why I think that offshore is more advantageous.
Yeah, no,
Let's
I
get the
can see
tunes
that
going
why
and the
that-
drinks flowing.
Do you smell something, Solar?
Yeah, no, I think I do.
Yeah. What's it smell like to you?
That to me is the smell of the past.
Yeah, ancient history.
Yeah, well, they only add that smell in afterwards.
Could you just frack off, guys?
Everyone hates me now. They hate me. I used to be the popular one. And now, look at me. But they still use me now, don't they?
Hey, Solar! How's it going? I'm here for the party. I'm so excited.
Sorry, who are you?
Oh, geothermal.
Sorry?
An energy source? Geothermal?
Geo... Anybody know this guy, Geo...
No.
I come from the ground. I'm a renewable energy source.
I don't know anyone. Be a bit weirder.
Yeah.
Oh, he's about to score! Right,
Hey guys.
No, wait, get out of the way! No! No, we missed it!
Classic wind, always ruining the view.
I'm spilling it every can. God damn it. I can't do anything right, can I?
Can we get some white wine and a Hoover?
Hey, Tidal. Heard you're making a bit of a splash these days, huh? Splash. What's wrong with him?
That time of the month.
Low tide.
Low tide. Yeah.
Say what you want about me, but that guy is pure filth.
Hey, yes, alright.
Who are you?
Well, I'm nuclear fusion. So,
Thought he was fusion.
he's fishing.
Are they the same thing?
No, not the same. They're completely different.
What?
Completely the opposite. I'm like unlimited. I'm completely clean. So, great news is we don't need you. We don't need you.
What?
We don't need any of you really. So,
Kick him out, guys!
hey, on the future.
Hello, we are Earth, Wind and Fire. We have a new video every single Thursday.
We look like the Beach Boys, actually. We are playing some gigs in Europe. They're on sale now. We're playing in Copenhagen, Cologne, Hamburg, Rotterdam, and Prague. Yeah. Europe. Europe beat. Getting down.
Mute fashion.
These are